How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another film review here at Big Gold Belt Media, biggoldbeltmedia.com. You got me, Damien G. You got Terrell over there on the side, and we just got done with a very interesting movie by the name of Lion Girl. It says corny as you think it's gonna sound. Lion Girl from Toei Company, Cleopatra Records, scheduled for release in November of 2023 on video on demand, Blu-ray, DVD, and the like. Already out in Australia, apparently. Japan's supposed to get it in 2024. Now, if you all like 1980s schlocky action movies mixed with anime, mixed with social commentary, mixed with really grade A acting performances, this movie's for you.
Absolutely.
Man, listen. This movie was ridiculously over the top and funny, and knowing me, I tried to look at it from a very aspect. If you've seen a lot of my work here on the channel, even I couldn't do it. So Terrell, I'm gonna let you start us off, man. So the movie Lion Girl, what were your initial thoughts once this movie kicked off?
Before I even get into that, let me just give you the general description of this movie for the people watching. So, of course, in the year 20 whatever, mysterious meteors bombard Earth and usher in an age of horrific beast known as the ANOROC, hunting and killing humans for their life force. The Earth has one last defender against them. Her name is Lion Girl. Seems pretty cool. It's what you're gonna get. Definitely, me watching a lot of Godzilla, a lot of Super Sentai stuff like that. I'm like, all right, this not gonna be that bad. And surprisingly, this was from Toei. So I'm like, all right, it's gonna be real kid friendly. It's not gonna be that bad.
This was not kid friendly, sir.
No, this is probably the most adult Toei project that I've seen maybe since Kamen Rider Amazons.
Ooh, okay.
Amazons, they're eating people and knocking heads off, stuff like that. This definitely surprised the hell out of me what we get. I mean, the first 2 minutes of the movie, I'm like, oh, okay, this is how we're doing this. This is what we're doing. For anybody going in to watch this, there's no level of expectation.
Nope.
For what you're gonna see on screen. It is completely ridiculous, and the more ridiculous it is, the funnier it is. The funnier it is, the more entertaining it is. I had a good time. This is not about to win no Golden Globes or Oscars, but this is definitely going to be a movie that I just randomly pull out for guests. You've seen this, and thank God the majority of it is in the majority of it is in English because it's done with an English cast. So, which I thought was pretty good. But overall, I definitely had a fun time with this. It was ridiculous.
So for all of you all watching at home, before we came on air, I said, hey, this movie's not going to win any awards. But if you thought the Legend of Chun-Li acting performances by Kristen Crook, McDonough, was top notch.
Should have been
this is an Academy Award winning performance more so than that movie. So if you've seen that, take this and you got that to a degree. Let me just see the tropes that were ripped off in this movie. The Terminator, Nick Fury, Afro Samurai, who just happens to be the Nick Fury character in this movie, who was also the uncle who was related to the white mother, even though he's black.
Could have been
half. There was a fake Darth Vader looking samurai dude who looked like a mix between Clancy Brown and Kane from WWE.
Derek Mears, who played Jason Voorhees in the Friday the 13th series. He's been in other stuff too, but that guy's pretty goddamn funny.
He as the over the top antagonist was chef's kiss for what he had to do in this movie.
Oh, he overperformed. Yeah, he
Yes.
brought it 100%. Yeah,
He M. Bisoned this movie from the original Street Fighter, like with the over the top, and then the makeup department. I got to give credit here, and we'll get into like the other stuff we like, but the costume design and the makeup department. Kudos to you all, because we discovered that this movie was being filmed during the height of COVID out in LA. So this was the perfect time to make movies outside when nobody was really outside. So I give them credit there. But aside from that, everything else is just fucking off the wall. Hold on.
I mean,
go ahead.
I mean, with this being based off the manga, which I had no clue what manga this is, or
me either.
Ever read it. I mean, and I think surprisingly too, taking a. I mean, like I said, I haven't read the manga, but if the manga is like mainly based around like, because it's a good diverse amount of people in the movie.
Yes.
But everybody's, for the most part, speaking English. This is probably the first time I've seen probably 80% American, vice versa, whatever, from a Toei. Usually it's like, okay, 90% Japanese and like 1% of everything else. You know what I mean? So this is the first. This is the first movie I've seen where they've done that. Like, Toei has made like an American or slapped their name on it. So it's shocking to me. Yeah.
So yeah, the story basically is we have these creatures called ANOROCs, which are like Oni demon zombies who feed off life force. A pandemic.
Last of Us vibes.
Yeah.
I mean, look, End of the World, Mad Max. We got meteorites contaminating the human race.
We got the shogunate who's telling people what's the line? Die early, don't live long, or something like that. Don't live long, die while working. Yes.
While working, yeah.
And a weird salute that looked like a mix between the tomahawk chop and another salute. In this movie,
it should be the commentary for America, right? Because that's basically, this movie hits a lot of different,
really did.
Yeah, a lot of different topics, but while comedically trying to be somewhat serious about it. And one of those, of course, is, basically, that's where the state of the country is. Social Security, you die while working, you basically die on the job. But like I said, I thought the most interesting thing, like you said, these people, ANOROC, are getting these powers. I really love the manga breakdown, like the comic book style. Yeah, telling like explanation of how everything worked, like the powers and stuff like that. And then they have like the way they do each individual power, stuff like that in the movie, explaining how like the abilities and stuff work. Which you don't really see a lot when they do adaptations like this. They don't stop and do stuff like that. They usually just try to. I hate to use this word. They try to ground it to make it seem like it's plausible in the real world, instead of just leaning into how ridiculous everything is. And that's why I really appreciate about this movie. But I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Oh no, you good, because that's what I was going to talk about. I was going to talk about the social commentary of it all, and then the grounding. And while you're talking, it just dawned on me, ANOROC spelled backwards is Corona.
What?
So, ANOROC backwards is Corona, and they mention pandemic and COVID-19 in this movie.
They do. Yeah.
So I thought this was so hilarious. So it makes it even more funny, tongue-in-cheekly, that they made the main antagonists the ANOROCs, which are backwards the coronavirus.
If I'd known Corona was giving people superpowers, I would have gotten it at least once. I haven't.
I'm saying, I would have took the 50-50 chance if I was going to get superpowers out of the deal.
Try to turn into a man-eating demon, though. But
hey man, if I still maintain your humanity. Yeah. But a lot of this movie was the gratuitous, over-the-top violence and bloodshed notwithstanding. Do not bring your kids to watch this movie. There was gratuitous nudity within the first 5 seconds of the movie. We are in a bathhouse. Spoilers, a bathhouse, and everybody naked. Everybody.
this is the first time I had this like that. Okay, this feels like a little too much. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I've never been like offended by nudity before, but I'm like, yeah, this feels like this was Japanese. Like, this feels like so. Yeah, we're just gonna take our clothes off, you know, for the script for the movie.
This was definitely like a Skinamax movie that like from the first
Right,
like 5 minutes.
This definitely felt like something that you shouldn't have been watching past 11 o'clock. And I'm like, we talking like dicks and you know everything out,
Everything
like,
out. Everything out.
And I'm like, okay, I guess it just makes sense for the source material. I don't know. Everybody got paid, I assume, though. So
I hope not just an experience. I hope they got paid something,
and not just gratuitous like nudity, but like full on close up shots of like the lead character and just like her walking away, just nothing but ass shots, which I wasn't mad about. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, did we need that? Did we need like what? It was just scenes where it was just like, why does she have to be naked here? Like, and that's played by, who was her name? Make sure I get her name right. Tori Griffith is playing Lion Girl.
Tori Griffith.
Yeah. So I'm definitely gonna remember her for everything going forward. She's been in about nothing that I've seen. Yeah. But I won't forget her now. I know what her body looks like.
Oh,
wow. Lion Girl definitely wanted me to know 100% what this girl looked like top to bottom. So,
I mean, hey, is she gorgeous? Yes. Is she racially ambiguous? Yes. Is she naked for a third of the movie? Also, yes. But to your point, a lot of it was just gratuitous, unnecessary. There was a torture scene where they took a baton and stuck it on a woman's backside, and there was gratuitous jiggle like it was a dead or alive game. And I'm thinking, man, they knew exactly what they were doing when they filmed a lot of this scene, man. The cinematography. It was like, if you've played an RPG, right, and you have a female character back in the 80s, and it said they had like golem armor in the menu, but they're wearing nothing but a bikini. That's what you saw in this movie by some of the characters. It's like, how is that battle armor? You're walking in there in like a thong, but that's supposed to protect you, from like a sword, a samurai sword.
Right.
But that notwithstanding, what are some of the other things that stuck out to you about this movie?
Man, I mean, this is how hard they were willing to go with just the kills in general. I feel like that's something they really don't. I feel like, especially with like Western movies, like they, for whatever reason, they don't like to show everything in its like full glory. When you go watch a Korean film or pretty much anywhere else, they don't shy away from showing violence or, blood splatter, stuff like this. This is like heads cut off. I mean, almost every unique way you could think to kill somebody, they're probably doing in here. It's completely ridiculous. This movie gives me like Kill Bill vibes too, which I just recently said about another show that's coming. But it's like you said, it's a mashup of so many different genres in this movie. It's definitely got me curious to like what else this if there's anything beyond the movie. I did like how, despite how ridiculous this movie is, all the actors are still from what I can see, taking it pretty serious. Like you can tell nobody's like phoning it in. Like everybody,
aside from Derek Mears, everybody else took this seriously.
Yeah, Derek's just like, my mom, that whole everybody's backstory is just completely ridiculous. Like, and then like it just doesn't stop. So like you said, the action is on point. I really love the soundtrack. Surprisingly, I really love like, the music that's centered around like the fights and stuff like that. Like you said, it gave me like that 80s movie vibe. What's that movie with? It's like a short movie where like the dude time travels, and it was like on Netflix for like a hot second. But it reminds me of that a little bit, except with way more nudity and killing. Like I said, I would love to have a copy of this just sitting on the shelf for guests to come over, or for this to watch in general. Hey, have you seen Lion Girl? Check this out. But no, I had a good time with it. Like I said, despite despite having to leave the reality of how ridiculous this was, it was still a good time at the end of the day. It's definitely something that I would potentially check out again. But what about yourself? What was some standout stuff for you?
The costume design, for one, was really well done. You know, even her final form costume at the end, Lion Girl's, was pretty damn impressive. You know, like the manner in which it was created, the blood, what have you. Fine, all things considered, it was interesting. The music was beautiful, especially that last stanza. When we get to the ending battle between, you know, Derek Mears, you know, and Lion Girl, like that weird Kill Bill standoff, you know, when you're having like these philosophical debates between the hero and the villain, it had some really good music. So kudos to them. If you like samurai swords, you like guns, you like over the top monologuing, you know.
Oh, a lot of that. It's a lot of monologue. I remember when I was a little girl. Cut. there was some things though. I'm not gonna say it was like, man, we were in the past for a minute. I'm like, all right, are we coming back? Like, I feel like one character.
I'm saying we spent a good amount of time in flashbacks in this movie.
Yeah, it's a lot of flashbacks. It's a lot of backstory, which I'm not mad about. Like, it's just, I'm like, you know, the way they set it up is kind of forward, and then you kind of, and wherever it goes in the end. But yeah, it's a lot of, you pretty much get a full character, like by the end of this movie. You pretty much know everything you need to know.
We can touch on the social commentary also before we wrap it up. It's like they ticked off every box for social commentary. They talked about how humans might be killing the planet. Humans may deserve to die for what they've done to the planet. You got the shogunate, you know, over here making people contribute to society in the midst of a pandemic. Pay your taxes, contribute to the economy. That sounds familiar. You know, you had people drawing battle lines about sick versus not sick. You know, so there was a lot of social commentary here. And again, if you look at what the ANOROCs are, like we said, spell it backwards, it's Corona, talking about, you know, me either. But then it just dawned on me. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So they had fun with this. The screenplay writers had a lot of fun with this. The message, and you know me, I try to look for the message behind the movie, and that was what I found. You know, I found, despite all the schlock, despite all the over-the-top nonsense, there was a life comparison to this movie about, you know, at the end, love others to continue on, you know, to let that be your strength despite everything that's happening. Self-sacrifice, you know, all that good stuff we see in superhero and old school kung fu and samurai movies, as it were.
Yeah, this movie, like I said, while telling the commentary on a bunch of different things, it's also like the beginning. This is a hero's journey story. Yes. Like we see like her reason to want to become a hero. What is going to motivate her to be the person that saves the world at the end of the day, and you know, stop, you know, everybody from turning into ANOROC apparently. So it's man, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. Like you said, not caring, you know, what people are, you know, loving people despite, you know, certain, right. So they hit that, you know, right in a bunch of different scenes in this movie. There is a scene in particular, I'm not going to spoil it. Like I think there was a transfer of power.
Oh my God.
And I'm just gonna leave it there for all those people that have not seen this. Like, yeah, that was just like, oh, that's what we doing.
Okay. I did not see that coming at all. Literally, I'm like, oh, okay. Everything it checked it off, man. Yeah.
Every note I just wrote, this is Japanese. This is Japanese. Like this is this type of stuff they would be doing. This is what I'm used to. So I'm not offended at all. I feel like anybody else.
Oh, not at all.
Yeah, anybody else would be like, what? So I love seeing these movies. Takes me back to seeing movies like Battle Royale for the first time. Yeah, and just being completely surprised of like what you're getting. And even like the trailer for this was like very tame. They didn't show you nothing. Like you see a couple fights, but nothing prepares you for what is actually in this movie at all. Wow.
I will say this: if you are not the kind of person that's very progressive in your mindset, you will not like this movie. You will not like this movie at all. So I'm gonna say, like I said during the Barbie review I did with Najir, there's a certain amount of people, a genre of folk that are going to complain about this movie, and it's of a variety of just closed-mindedness. And I'll just leave it there. This is not the movie for you, baby. This ain't for you. But overall, aside from the tropes, like we said, there is a message here. So I will tell you, if you can get past the WTF moments of this film, it gives you an after-school moment at the end, and maybe a sequel. The way it ends, there is room for a sequel.
It's definitely a whole world that could build. It's a lot of stuff that is left open.
Lion Girl universe
for more. Yeah. The director and writer for this movie, Kurando Mitsutake. Look, I've known none of his movies. He says none for Gun Woman. Yeah, that makes sense. Samurai Avenger, Blind Wolf, and Shudder. So
this all sounds like it's up the alley.
Yeah, if you've seen any of those movies, you're probably gonna be like, okay, yeah, this is about, what you're getting yourself into. So yeah, this movie was definitely I played wildest movie of 2023 that I don't think anything's gonna top this as far as like I can't be surprised by anything going forward at this point. Like nothing is gonna shock me. Yeah.
Same here, and we're over here reviewing Gen V over here on the channel, and even that I'm like, what the WTF moments for Gen V? Yeah. Gen V can't top this. I'm sorry for the amount of like random WTF moments, and it's right under a 2-hour movie, so you'll be in and out. Yeah. If you can, like we said, if you can get past the schlock and the funny and the random, this is actually an enjoyable watch. I'm not saying it's worth like watching it 3 times, 4 times, but like you said, Terrell, have it on your shelf and say, yo, you want to see something random? And then,
it's got tits and ass. Come watch.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say that, but yes, it's got action, it's got boobs, it's got butts, it's got all that, and then some.
I hope this movie does well.
Just so we can see a sequel. I'm dying by Netflix, because I feel like this is the kind of movie Netflix would make into a series.
I feel like even Netflix ain't gonna pull the plug on streaming this. Like, I feel like this is something you definitely gonna have to buy on your own. I don't think nobody's trying to take that chance.
You know what? No, here's why I don't think so. There was a movie years ago on Netflix that this reminded me of. It's called Nude Nuns with Big Guns. It's exactly how you think it's going to sound. Yeah. So just like if they got naked nuns with guns, I think they can handle this movie.
I need to look that up. Look, Cleopatra Entertainment, we appreciate you. Thank you for
salute
bringing this stateside. Everybody needs to see this. Look, if you had a chance, if you've seen it, please let us know what you thought about this movie. It's hilarious. It's got a good action. You're going to be showing this to your friends and family for years. It's going to be the new Thanksgiving movie. So, and it's in English, so no subtitles. So,
you don't have to put subtitles. You can watch this with some of the family. I don't know if you want to have little Billy and little Stacy watch this movie with y'all, but you never know. Lion Girl's the title, everybody. Just so y'all know, Lion Girl releasing on Blu-ray, DVD, and video on demand November 2023, even though it is already out in Australia. Scheduled for Japan release in 2024. Cleopatra Records, as well as Toei Company behind the magic of this film. Any last thoughts, Terrell?
Yeah, real quick. Who was the... I mean, obviously no spoilers. Who was the standout character for you in the movie? Like, what
character? Oh man, you know what? I gotta say, who is he? Anaconda.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Yeah, yeah, that's the name he went with apparently.
That's the name that they went with apparently. There was a debate about masculine and feminine names, about how that's an archaic trope in this movie. I bet you Uncle Ken was probably a lot of people's favorite character in this movie as well. Only because
Ken
he
Shikoda was his name. He had a Japanese last name, and in this movie, which I'm assuming he's just half Asian or some point for him to be connected to. Yeah, and his name was Damien, by the way.
I know. Yeah, Damien 2 Feet Raven. So yes, that's. So who was yours?
Yeah, I was gonna say probably more so Derek's character, man. He just gave me. He reminded me of it reminded me of like a samurai version of the guy from Twisted Metal that was going around, the police officer. It reminded me of that, but he was just completely ridiculous. And then once you get into like his motivation, it's just like really. So, but it was cool. I loved it. I loved him, and then he just kind of contradicted himself towards the end. But other than that, great character in the movie. I love
the reason why I like that character of Anaconda. Number one, he wore sunglasses in 90% of this movie, which I thought was badass. Yeah. Two, he had a poncho almost the entire movie, and he called himself a gunslinger. So I appreciate that, because if you play Final Fantasy VIII, one of my favorite characters is Irvine Kinneas, and he kind of reminded me of Irvin Kinneas from that movie. So I'm a big fan of guys who think they're a cowboy, who can wear a poncho / duster and get away with it. So So I give this movie a standard C+, just because it was 2 hours of what the fuck. What would you say?
We probably could have cut a little bit. Just trying to, I don't think it needed to be as long as 2 hours.
30 minutes.
Yeah. But overall, like I said, despite that, I still had a fun time. Definitely worth the watch. Definitely worth the laugh. Let's see how serious it is. Like I said, I want to see where this manga goes. So I will be looking this up further. But other than that, I give it a solid, like you said, C+. Yeah, that's about where it's at. But that's not bad.
Where it should be. Yeah. And that's the thing. I didn't think it was going to get to a C+. So the fact that we started off in the first 5 seconds of like, ooh, what the fuck are we looking at, to a C+, that tells you how we feel about this movie. So go see it, own it, have it on your shelf. Let us know in the comments down below. Big Gold Belt Media, biggoldbeltmedia.com. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Continue to support the channel as the drive to 30,000 subscribers continues. Terrell, where can people find you?
You can find me here, of course, at Big Gold Belt Media and ATG Podcast. Check me out on there and Around the Geek. And talk about that on there as well.
There we go. And you can find me at Damon G Show across the board. And at Damon G Show presents the Retro Cartoon Rewatch, where I watch cartoons from the 70s to the 2000s, and I review them in real time. And also here on Big Gold Belt Media, biggoldbeltmedia.com. And we'll catch you next time with another random review.
I hope so.
Meteors.